Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Treacle, also known as Horror Fan for Life. And this evening I have another requested video from a subscriber of mine. Um, Anvil Schneider has requested that I do my top 20 comedies of the 1980s. And here we are, so I'm much obliged to do so. And it's been a while since I've done a top 20. And with the 1980s, there are a lot of great comedies from that decade. And so I'm sure I'm going to miss some that some of you think that should be on the list. I do have 6 honorable mentions to go with the top 20. This was a very hard list to do. And some of my movies on my top 20 list may be higher on yours or so forth. Doesn't mean I don't think the movie's great. It just means that I like other movies a little bit better than those. And some may surprise you, some may not. But at the end of the day, I love all these movies, and I constantly watch these movies over and over. Most of them I've purchased either on YouTube or one of my apps. But the 1980s is, to me, the greatest decade with movies. So let's get into this list. But first, here are my honorable mentions. You have Harlem Nights, Stripes, 16 Candles, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Blues Brothers, and Porky's 2 the Next Day. All great comedies. Just didn't make my top 20 list. But coming in at number 20 is Turner and Hooch. I love this movie. Tom Hanks, along with this dog. I love this movie, even though it is a tearjerker. And for those of you who've seen it, know what I'm talking about. But I love this movie. You have a great cast. It's a great, funny movie, and I can't praise it enough. And it comes in at number 20. Coming in at number 19, another Tom Hanks movie, Bachelor Party. Yes, this movie doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. And Tom, this was one of his very first movies that got him some recognition. And I must say, this is funny throughout. And you have Rick, who's getting married, and his buddies decide to throw him a bachelor party, which gets out of hand, but makes it real funny and very entertaining. Adrian Zmed is his best buddy, and you have a couple of great characters in this movie too. But this is a lot of fun. My favorite scene is when the guys go to the male strip club to mess with their wives, and they're introduced to Mr. Nicholas, better known as Nick the Dick. And I love that scene, and cracks me up every time. But yeah, Bachelor Party, number 19. Number 18 is The Three Amigos. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Martin Short. Doesn't get any better than that. These 3 guys are actors in Hollywood who are, after they've been fired, are sent a telegram asking them to come to Santa Poco and put on a show, which means they think they're doing another acting job. But what they're really there for is to scare off these guys who are part of a group of guapos. And not knowing what they're actually there for, they think it's just another paying gig, and which makes it even funnier. But my favorite scene is with the 3 guys and the singing bush. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it comes in at number 18. Coming in at number 17 is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of the very few Thanksgiving movies we have. Steve Martin, John Candy, one of the greatest road trip comedies you'll see. and I can't praise it enough. I love both the characters. The dialogue between the two characters is hilarious. My favorite scene is when they're in the hotel room and they're sharing the same bed, and Steve Martin asked him um, something about a pillow, and I'm not going to get into anything else, but it is a funny scene, and him and John Candy together is fantastic, and yeah, I can't say enough about it. Number 16 is The Great Outdoors. Dan Aykroyd and uh, John Candy is fantastic, and I love this movie. And you have John Candy's character who is taking his family on a trip to the wilderness, and they have some uninvited guests who just show up. Uh, Dan Aykroyd, his wife, and his $2 in the movie just show up, and they kind of ruin the vacation. But it's really, really funny, and I can't say enough about it. It's another movie that really doesn't get talked about that much, but it is high up on my radar as a funny movie. And don't forget, you got to eat the old 96-ounce steak. That scene is my favorite when he tries to put that down, and yeah, it's just amazing. Number 15 is The Money Pit. It's another Tom Hanks movie. I believe it's Shelley Long that plays his wife in the movie, and it's a very funny film. They buy this house for on the cheap, and that's because it needs a lot more work than they thought, and that's why it's called The Money Pit. And the scene where he's going to get some water for his wife, and he ends up on the scaffolding, and he slides off that, ends up in a like a cart, slides down this hill, and ends up in the water fountain and getting peed on by the statue. It's freaking hilarious. And another scene is when the bathtub falls through the floor, and he just stands there and just starts laughing. I can't get enough of that. And yeah, truly an amazing, funny movie. Number 14 is Clue. This movie, again, doesn't get enough praise or talked about enough, and it's got a great cast. It's based off the board game, and it's a lot of fun. There's 3 different endings, and I think that was genius for them to do that, because you didn't want people going around spoiling, what happened if you just had the one ending. So what they did is they had the 3 endings with the movie, and each theater had a different ending. So you don't know which one you were getting. And that was the best thing about this movie. And eventually, when you get the DVD and Blu-ray and all that, they have all 3 endings, of course. But still makes for a great movie. I love Tim Curry, and yeah, Leslie M. Warren, and just a great cast. If you're interested, I believe on my channel I made a video of if there was a remake of this movie, who I would cast as far as a new movie would be concerned, or a remake. And I think you guys will enjoy that video as well. But yeah, number 14 is Clue. Number 13, another John Candy movie, Uncle Buck. Another classic 80s movie. Macaulay Culkin stars in this movie as well. And the scene when they're at the dinner table and he's asking them all those questions, that's a great back and forth and banter between a veteran actor and a young child actor. And I would have loved to have seen some bloopers for this movie. I love watching bloopers from movies and television, and I would have loved to have seen that. But I heard a lot of great things. When it comes to Macaulay Culkin, he was really serious, and took his job serious too, as far as trying to get his lines right, and didn't like messing around either. But he's a kid, man. You gotta have fun. But regardless, Uncle Buck is a very funny movie. You have Laurie Metcalf, who plays the neighbor, and she's really terrific in this movie too. And yeah, just another great movie. Check her out if you haven't seen Uncle Buck. Number 12, we have Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? I know some people would probably have this in their top 10, probably even top 3, top 2 movies. But for me, there's other movies that I enjoy more, but I still love this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ghostbusters is a great movie. A perfect movie, in my opinion. Just a little higher up on my list. But you have Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, Annie Potts. Just a terrific cast for this movie. And originally, though, John Candy was going to play the part of Rick Moranis, and John Belushi was going to be Peter Venkman. But he, of course, died, OD'd before they even got into production and stuff. So he was replaced by Bill. And, I don't think you could find any better replacements. Of course, John dropped out because he didn't like the way that they wanted him to play Telly's part of the character. But regardless, though, it's still a great movie. And I even enjoy the sequel, too. And I like the 2016 movie, too. And I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but to each their own. Number 11 is The Naked Gun. Leslie Nielsen is one of the better comedic actors of our time. And I really wish we would have got to see him more in more comedic roles like we do in Airplane. Even though we did get to see a lot because he made a lot of movies, I really wish we would have got to see more of him because he's got the chops for comedy. And this is no exception. George Kennedy plays his boss in this movie. And yeah, you have Priscilla Presley, who plays a love interest. And my favorite scene is when they're on their date, and then Herman's Hermits comes on. Into Something Good is the song, and they're going through the little montage of their date and everything, and yeah, that is hilarious. But the whole movie is freaking hilarious. But it comes in at number 11, just outside my top 10. Coming in at number 10 is National Lampoon's Vacation. The original that got it started. You have Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Anthony Michael Hall, Dana Barron, Randy Quaid, and you have a lot of great cameos throughout the movie, including John Candy, Brian Doyle Murray, Eugene Levy, who plays the car salesman at the beginning of the movie. You didn't order the McTallic P? Yeah. I love this movie, but my favorite scene in this movie is when Clark is invited to go swimming with the girl that he's been basically checking out behind his wife's back, and he says the line, "This is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy," while slapping his hands. Yeah, just Terrific, terrific scene. And this is a great movie. Oh, and also, did you know that the voice of the moose at Wally World when they first come up is the voice of Harold Ramis? Uh, just in case if you didn't know. But yeah, that one comes in at number 10. Number 9 is 48 Hours. Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy, a fantastic buddy cop movie. Quick synopsis is you have Nolte's character who is trying to track down Albert Gans, and he has escaped uh, from a uh, prison uh, group who were doing some work. He was broken out of there by one of his associates, a big tall Indian, Billy, and they've been going around killing former members of their gang, looking for this money that Reggie has hidden, played by Eddie Murphy. And so he takes him out of prison for 48 hours to help bring Gans back into justice. And while doing so, a lot of freaking funny things happen between these two characters. But my favorite thing is the fight between them when Nolte's character has had enough of his BS and wants to know where Gans is and where the money is, and they end up fighting. That's one of the best fights in the movie, and Nolte ends up getting the last lick in too, and that's just really funny. I love that scene. Love this movie, and I really enjoyed the sequel as well, which came a lot longer than it should have. We should have had a trilogy out of this, in my opinion. Number 8 is The Burbs, a movie that doesn't get talked about a lot, but has since become a cult classic. Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, Henry Gibson, who plays his new neighbor, the Naps, not the Naps, but they play his new neighbor who they suspect are killing people in their neighborhood, most notably their neighbor who has gone missing and has left his dog behind. And so they do their own investigating and eventually come up with a clue with the bone. It's a femur bone. They assume that it's their neighbor. And a lot of funny things happen. I'm not going to get into spoiling the movie or anything, but if you haven't seen The Burbs is a classic. I used to watch it all the time at my grandma's house, along with many other movies, and it's just a great, great film, and very underrated in my opinion. But it comes in at number 8. Number 7 is Airplane. Another Leslie Nielsen movie. And in here you have a guy who is trying to stop his now ex from leaving him, and he wants to win her back. While they're on this plane, a lot of things go wrong. People get sick from the fish dinner, and a lot of the pilots are out, and it's up to Ted to land the plane and bring everybody home safely. And in doing so, you got a lot of hilarious things that happen in this movie. But Leslie Nielsen, in my opinion, steals the movie with his scenes and his delivery of the dialogue that he has. It's just amazing. There's a lot of great one-liners and quotable lines in this movie. Most notably, people here are I am serious and don't call me Shirley. We're all counting on you. Or no, it says, good luck, we're all counting on you, as he pops into the front of the plane, the cabin. It's Leslie Nielsen is just one funny man, And I love the cast in this movie. Lloyd Bridges, and then the gentleman, I can't remember his real name, but he plays Johnny in the movie. He is one of my favorite co-stars in this movie, and yeah, this is a lot of fun. A great spoof of the airport movies, if you didn't know where they come from. Number 6 is Stir Crazy. Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder. Classic film about two guys who are wrongfully accused of a crime they didn't commit, and they end up going to prison. While they're there, they're trying to have their lawyers track down who actually committed the crime, and at the same time, they're trying to figure out a way to escape. And yeah, this is another great film. And the big man in this movie, Earl Van Lith, he's got a long name, but he is amazing in this movie. He played a terror in The Wanderers, which, if you look right behind me, that's the poster of The Wanderers. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. You will not be disappointed. It came out the same year as The Warriors did, in 1979. But that's another time for another video later on. Anywho, yeah, this movie, Stir Crazy, is hilarious. And my favorite scene is when they're walking down, getting ready to get put in jail. And Richard Pryor says, "You got to get bad. If you don't get bad, you're going to get fucked." You know, and that, I love that scene. If you haven't seen Stir Crazy, check it out. You won't be disappointed. Number 5 is Beverly Hills Cop. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold. This is a great buddy cop film. Quick synopsis is Axel Foley, his longtime friend, comes to Detroit after being in prison and being out for a while. He comes back and sees Axel, and they hang out, but he ends up getting killed, which leads Axel to California, because that's where he was last seen working with another friend of his. And so he goes out there, investigates, and gets into a lot of different situations, or pickles, if you will, with the locals out there, including an art dealer who last employed his buddy. And my favorite scene in this movie is the banana in the tailpipe. I love that. And if you didn't know, there's a cameo by a Wayans brother in this movie. He's the one that gives the bananas to Axel in this movie. I won't say which Wayans brother it is. So if you know who it is, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll let you know if you're right. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop comes in at number 5. Number 4 is Trading Places. Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, and Down Home Elliott, Jamie Lee Curtis. Everyone knows who's seen Trading Places knows what my favorite part's going to be, and it's Jamie Lee Curtis, and she is topless. Yes. Oh, good Lord. You want to talk about a perfect, let's just say it, perfect boobs. That would be it. She is drop dead gorgeous. And wow, can't say enough. But I love her character in this movie, though. I love Winthorpe and Billy Ray Valentine. Two characters that are fantastic. And in this movie, it's a simple synopsis. Eddie Murphy is a bum living on living on the streets. Winthorpe is a successful um, businessman working with Duke and Duke, where they trade um, commodities like orange juice and gold and all these goods and stuff. And his bosses make a bet to where they could have them switch places and they would still be a success without Winthorpe. And that's what, and they bet $1 on that just to ruin his life. And I think it's crazy. At the same time, it's an hilarious movie. If you haven't seen Trading Places, check it out. It is a very funny Christmas comedy. Number 3, speaking of Christmas comedies, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Johnny Galecki, and of course Randy Quaid, Brian Doyle Murray. Just a great, great Christmas comedy. Came out in 1989. So many quotable lines in this movie. It's not even funny. I mean, literally, there's so many. Hey kids, look, there's a deer. Gives him the finger. But my favorite scene is he's talking to the female sales rep at the panties store, and asks Russ, "Can't see the light, can you, Russ?" And he's like, "Nope." And talking about earlier, he's talking about her nips, and yeah, it makes for an hilarious film, and definitely my favorite Christmas comedy. Number 2 is The Breakfast Club. Need I say more? John Hughes classic. My favorite John Hughes movie. You have Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, Anthony Michael Hall, Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, Paul Gleason, and John Kapelos. Fantastic film about 5 kids who spend a Saturday in detention together. They're all from different sides or different groups of people. Molly Ringwald's character, Claire, is the princess. You have Bender, who is a criminal. You have Andrew, who is the jock. You have Brian, who is the brain. And you have Ali Sheedy, who is the basket case. But altogether, a fantastic film. Paul Gleason is the vice principal. And Kapelos is Carl, the janitor. And this is a great film. Check out The Breakfast Club if you haven't seen it. But let's get to my number 1 comedy of the 1980s. And that is the Bob Clark classic, Porky's. Porky's, hands down, has made me laugh so hard over the years. I remember watching this. My mom, rest in peace, her favorite scene in this movie is when the assistant basketball coach, Roy, is having sex with Miss Honeywell, played by Kim Cattrall, who is just freaking smoking hot. They're up there having sex, and she's basically barking like a dog and everything. And the coach loses it and is laughing behind this mat on this wall. And ever since I have seen the movie and it comes to that scene, I know my mom is up there laughing her ass off. And I can't say enough about this movie. It's about a guy, Pee Wee, who wants to get laid. Hasn't been laid. All his buddies have, and they're trying to hook him up with Wendy, who is rumored to sleep with a lot of guys, but in reality, she's only slept with a couple. But you'll find that out in the sequel. But in this movie, Pee-wee's trying to get laid. There's a couple scenes when they're in the girls' locker room, and there is a lot of nudity in this movie. But that was the 1980s, and I can't say enough about it. I got to see my first female naked girl, and yeah, uh, can't say anything more about it. I love this movie. Uh, it was a surprise hit. Not a lot of people saw this coming. If you don't know, Bob Clark, he is responsible for directing one of the best slasher movies of all time. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? If you do, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll let you know if you're right. But I will give you a hint. It is a slasher movie from the 1970s. And it has spawned 2 remakes. So there's your hint. But yeah, Porky's is a timeless classic. It's my favorite comedy film of the 1980s. So in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions on my list. And I would love to see your guys' top 20 comedies of the 1980s. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching. If you have any more suggestions for videos, reviews, anything you want to see on this channel, a top 20, top 10 ranking, just leave it in the comment section below, and I will definitely do that for you guys. And give another shout out to Anvil Schneider, who requested this video. And go over to his channel and check him out. Subscribe, and let's help each other out. Have a lot of fun talking about movies. And I will see you guys next time, and check you later.